Hello, Finn Hall.
Hello, Belinda. How are you?
Okay, and congratulations on being named International Beat Poet Laureate from Scotland, 24 to 25. Was that a big
Yes,
surprise?
it was a big surprise. I was actually talking to Debbie, must have been the beginning of the year, and she says, "Oh, somebody's mentioned you for it, And I thought, yeah, okay, so well, it's just me from Scotland. It's not exactly hot beat poet territory.
Mm.
Um, but when I did get the message, whenever it was in June, I thought, it really was just totally out the blue and totally, as they say here, totally gobsmacked. I just had no inkling. It's a great honor, because
Right.
it's,
Yeah, that was how it was for me too. It just like felt like out of the blue. But anyway, what does it mean to you to be a beat poet?
it means that this sounds really trite, that this sort of, I don't do poetry. I don't like competitions. I'm not a competitive. I mean, if I'm playing a game or sports or whatever, I'm not sporty, but if I do that, then fine, because there's a purpose in that. You know, Games and sport, they are for competing. But poetry, I'm not a fan of like poetry slams. I've never entered a poetry competition in my life because I don't find it competitive. I don't like losing, but I don't mind not winning. It's an odd thing. So I'm not competitive when it comes to that. I do it because I've done it for so long and I love doing it. And it's good to get recognition from, it's like yourself. If someone, says, "Oh, I like that piece," that's good. But
Hmm.
when it gets to that next level and things like that, when you get this um, reward, award, get really recognized for what
Yeah.
you do.
Yes.
And it's odd because in the past I wouldn't have considered even thinking I'm a beat poet. I'm just a poet. I just write.
Hmm.
But the longer I do it, the more I see stuff that fit in that.
Hmm.
It fits into that very loose genre. If someone says to you, "What's a beat poet?" You go, "Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah. It's hard to
I
grab
just
hold.
I just do it. It's like, we're not we're not with Bukowski. We've never, been lived in that on the road type lifestyle. Although, how I do is I do what I want to do,
Mhm.
and that's it. I don't like fitting into boxes, and I write a lot of stuff about that nowadays. And if that makes me a beat poet, then that's perfect because I hate boxes, I hate labels. I just can't stand labels.
Yeah. Well, what poetry projects are you working on now? Both long-standing ones and maybe something you're getting ready to do?
Well, I am at the moment. I'm just I'm just finishing. In fact, tomorrow's the deadline. I've still got 12 people to come. One of my films, and it's uh, beginning of this year. I did a project getting a person from each traditional county of Scotland, not the counties that we have now, because the governments have changed them over the centuries and things like that. The traditional, old-fashioned counties. Get a poet from each country to read a poem, film themselves, and I edit it together and add bits to make it a film. And then someone suggested, "Well, why don't you do one of England?" And I went, "Oh, don't say that." Because when people say to me, "Why don't you?" I go, "Yeah, don't say that to me." Because I know I do it. I like a challenge. I like doing something different. But that's what this is. It's just finishing um, this film. It's called Voices of England. And it's the one from Scotland was Words of Scotland. And then I did that book, the American thing. Can't remember what it's called. It's my book. Anyway, getting someone from each state.
Mhm.
So England, I have to do it. I have to get, and people were going, "Oh, well, I'm from Manchester." And I go, "Yeah, but Manchester's a modern county. It's not Lancashire was that county, is Lancashire. And now Lancashire's broken up into about 5 or 6 different counties. And I don't want that one, the old traditional ones. And I found I've got someone for them all, but I've still 12 people still to get their videos in by midnight tomorrow. There's 2 people who haven't responded since they said, yes, I'll do it. So no doubt I'll be looking for someone to do that. And then on Thursday, for probably my last project for a little bit, is I haven't announced it yet, and I will be doing this on Thursday. I'm going to publish another anthology, and this time it will be poets who live in my county. So it's purely Aberdeen and Aberdeenshire poets, and there's lots of us. So I was doing something, getting as many people as I can involved in that because I don't think there has been some stuff done, but not to the same extent of getting so many people. You know, they've had it with the known ones, a few people, and here's their little collection. So I want to do that and see if that helps.
Okay, I guess we could always find your books online and Amazon and other places, but where do we see your film?
They're all on YouTube on my YouTube channel, FinHall14. They're all
Oh,
on there from the
okay.
very first one I did back during lockdown. Actually, I did my first one during lockdown, and I did something I love doing. I had no experience in doing it, as I had no experience in publishing before either. It's just like, what do I do? You know, I'm old. I'm 72, and it's like I don't like being defined by age, and I like being able to learn new stuff at my own pace. At my own pace. I mean, I couldn't go and do a college course or anything like that. I'd probably fall asleep at the desk, you know. But, yeah, so I started one in 2020, and just I think I've got better at it. I've got better editing. I've got better idea of what I'm doing. Plus, I've got a better facility online for editing, for treating the sound and things like that.
Mhm. Okay, tell me about Blot from the Blue.
Blot from the Blue is, again, it started back in August 2020. Been to a few Zooms, like we all did, you know, we all discovered the world of Zoom back during lockdown. You know, summer of lockdown, it was everyone, oh, here's another Zoom, let's go do that. Because what else are you doing? You know, let's go Zooming. And I just thought one night when I was on another Zoom, and I says to folk, yeah, I might start one up. And I went, oh, good, go on then. So I did, and you know, I just got a Zoom contract, and as opposed to just going to Zoom, and then it took off. And I started doing it every 3 weeks, and then I thought, no, this is too much, so I do it once a month. And the title, Like a Blot from the Blue, actually comes from an old poem that I wrote, I don't know, way back in the 70s or 80s or something. And it's basically, it's not a great poem, you know, it's in my first book, but it's not a great poem. But it's about televangelists, as they were called now, just evangelists, you know, these people, give me your money, give me your money. And then, you know, they drive about in their big cars, and while their patrons are, especially, you know, especially stateside. I mean, it's worse there than it is here, you know. And it was just for that, like a Blot from the Blue, and it just grew from that. And it's just, I decided as I went along that everything that I do, that I start, not stuff I'm involved in that other people start, has got to have that. It's the label now. It's like a Blot from the Blues label. And I had no logo before, and then a fellow poet, Alexandra, who's Ukrainian, designed the poster and label. That I use all the time now. And then when I did my first festival 2 years ago, Bob Whelan and up in Maine there decided, he said, oh, we should print T-shirts for it. So therefore I edited the whole poster to become the Blot. And so you don't need anything Blot and become a t-shirt. So that's what it is. It came from an old poem, and I needed a title, and I wanted something that was not snappy, because it's anything but snappy, but just something that's different. It's different. And the name just stuck, and then people who get involved in my films or my Zoom shows, become blotters. And I can't remember, someone named it. Just, oh, we're all blotters now. And I thought, oh, that's a good description.
Well, do people from all over the country come onto your Zooms?
Yeah,
I bet
yeah.
all over the world.
Yeah, literally, I have a regular attendance of round about 30 regular people who come from Singapore, Canada, India, America, obviously. Yeah, all over. I've got, I like to get somebody new, at least one new person each month coming to it, whether it's an established poet or whether it's somebody new that either I've found or somebody else has discovered. And this week on Sunday, I have actually 4 new people who said they're coming. Hopefully there will be. And one of them is a young man called, hard to pronounce his name, Bien Venture. And he's a young poet who actually lives in a refugee camp in Malawi.
Oh,
So he borrows his friend's phone and his friend's Wi-Fi. And I found him a couple of weeks ago on Roll James's Zoom a week past Sunday. And I thought, oh, this guy's really wonderful,
mm.
He's also published his first book himself, and it's called Run from something. I can't remember. But it's good because it helps fund him. It helps his lifestyle because it's only $5 for a download, and to him it's like a couple of thousand, whatever the currency is in Malawi. So it's for a good cause as well. And he's a good boy. He's young, he's raw, but he's out there.
Sounds like a really interesting group.
Yeah, yeah. I do
t-
get, sorry, you get some people who's regulars and you get some people who come along once and then never come along. And that's fine. People have got lives and things like that. There's things that they need to do. But
Mm.
yeah,
Well, do you happen to have a poem ready, or can you get one pretty quick?
get one right here. Hold on. Where are we? I can do. I've never read this one. I only wrote it. Actually, I only wrote it yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I did it. Yeah, I did it because Scotland's a pretty, not just Scotland, but here's a pretty hard place for, I can't suppose, getting recognition. You say, when I got awarded the Poet Laureate, people who tell were really excited and all these messages and everything coming to me, which is wonderful. And a friend of mine who lives along the road in the village, and she says, "Oh, you should put it on our village Facebook page." And I went, "No, I don't want to do that." She said, "Yeah, you really should." And I'm my own worst salesman. I can't sell myself. I'm not I don't sell. I can talk, but I'm not a salesperson. And she says, "Put it on." So I put it on. And I was 2 people liked it. One was my daughter, and one was a friend who lives in a nearby village. It was just like blank. And even the local press have not shown any interest, despite people have contacted them. It's just like, yeah, it's hard, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I can't fight it or anything like that. So I don't like cliques. This is the point. I don't like gangs. I don't like people who just hang about, if I was the stereotypical, American college kid, I would hang out with the folk that nobody was hanging out with because I don't like cliques at all. I just hate them. So this poem is called Cliques. Not me, not I. I don't need to be in your gang, your gang, your gang. And to paraphrase Frida, I know my words aren't attractive to everyone, but I only want them to be attractive to the ones that see the way poetry is to me. To be or not to be included. I think I've alluded to this before, but the more things change, the more they remain the same. Same faces, same places, same patting backs. Commonality lacks awareness of the bigger picture. The world or your little corners? That is the question. May I make a suggestion? Get off the roundabout. Try another way to see, to be. Reality is out there, not always shouting, here I am, but quietly, unselfishly being. Variation or the same, there's no shame in being everywhere, but not here or there. I've said it before, I don't want a box. I don't have a box. Boxes restrict. I know my place, and my place is the world.
Oh, thank you very much. I did read that. Didn't I respond?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yes, you did. I think you did. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I did. I didn't think it was. This is what I like. When I think, you're probably the same. You think, oh, I don't like that piece, but I've done it anyway. Then people go, oh, that's a good one. It's like it's the difficulty with slams that people always say this. You put forward your best piece in slam and you score nothing. You throw in, oh, I'll just do this for the sake of I'm here. And I don't do slams at people I know that's done them. And I said, I won a slam. And it wasn't a piece I liked, So I put that out there and I was surprised how I liked it. I just put it out there for posterity. So, and
yeah.
that's having a go at certain people who should be unnamed. Yeah, in Scotland, should be unnamed and things like that, because they like their cliques.
Well, the thing about slam poetry or performance poetry in general, well, maybe more slam poetry, it's a different genre. Then
Yeah,
then it's like acting and it's more a visual show. With
yeah, yeah,
hands and your voice modulation and all that, and you can actually perform a lousy poem and it be enjoyable.
yeah,
Whereas if it's just on the page only, it doesn't fly. So, but they can also both be good writing and good performance. But the thing is, they shouldn't be judged as the same thing, you know.
I mean, there is, and we don't know there's one of my best friends, good friend who stays not, like a few miles away in a nearby village. He said, I'm a poet. I read. I'm a poet reader. I'll read my poetry to you. And then we did a show on. There's a new venue. It's an outside place that people's developing into a multi-art space, just 15 miles from here. And they did their first spoken word thing on last Saturday evening. And he goes on and he reads his poem. He's a wonderful poet. He's really good, really incisive. And I go on and because I can't remember my poems, I always have to read them. But I'm a performance poet. I like hand gestures and I do all that, but not in the same way that a slam poet does it. It's a different way. I like to act out my poems,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
get in, get into, and even if it's a fictional piece, I like to become that character or characters as I'm doing it.
Do you
Um,
also act? I mean,
I
in film or something?
No, but I did start. It's another thing about my lovely village that I love staying in here, and the golden sun shining in my window just now. But there used to be a lot of drama around here, way back in whatever, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And they always say, oh, there's no drama here. So I thought, I'll start a drama group. And I've got a friend who lives, again, not too far away, and she's a drama teacher. And she said, oh, great, we'll do this together. Nobody was interested. We've got 2 people come along from the village, 3 people, somebody else from elsewhere. So we moved elsewhere. And we've got a steady core now. We've only got about 6 or 7 people doing it. And none of us have, apart from a young kid who just started, have ever acted before. And our problem's not the acting, is remembering the lines. We've been doing it for months and we still can't remember the lines, but we're getting there. So that's the only acting I've ever done is what we're doing in rehearsal just now, which is a wonderful, an old John Buchan play called 39 Steps. It was a Hitchcock film back in the 60s. And we're doing a comedy version of it, which kind of relates nothing to the original thriller story. We're doing a comedy version. And the comedy version involves only 4 actors. The male lead, the female lead who plays 2 parts, 2 female leads, one who dies and then another one. And then there's 2 other characters who play all the other characters in the film, in the play. And they chose this play when I was off for a few weeks ill, I think, at the beginning of the year. Oh, we're doing this now. And you've got this character. And I just wanted to be small. I didn't want to be too up there. And I'm now playing 7 different characters in this film, in this play. And 3 of them appear in one, not even one scene, but one piece of dialogue. It's like, it's funny, it's hard. Especially that one, because you've got to change hats and change voices and change postures all within that he says, you know. And but I find it's good for my poetry as well, because the drama teacher is teaching us how to do. This is what you've got to do, and this is how you can do it, you know. And watch this, and you'll see how they do it. But don't do it like them, but you know. And so it helps as well. So that's it. Am I an actor? No, but I am going to be one.
Well, Finn, it's nice to meet you, and thank you for sharing with us.
No problem at all. Thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure.
Okie dokie, we'll see you around.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.